Hi peeps! You always ask for a what's on my iPhone video. I like the fact you requested this because I guess it just shows, I don't even know why people like knowing what's on people's iPhones. I guess it's good to recommend things and just talk about things that you enjoy and that help improve your life. Phones are everything. So I hope you enjoy. So obviously I had to start off with my phone case because that's probably the most important part. Look how cute it is. It looks like chocolate. It's got eyeballs on it and a bit of bitten chocolate. Great. And then we press the home button and the beautiful photo of myself and Kyle comes up. Thank you so much to whoever drew this. I cannot remember your name, but it literally slays my life. And then because of my phone is the iPhone 5 Gold, I can put my finger on the home screen and it unlocks because that fingerprint though. Pre-word warning, if you're somebody who is obsessed with organisation, I am not, and my phone apps are just everywhere. Usually what I just like doing is keeping the apps wherever they are downloaded and then just getting used to where each app is, so my finger just naturally goes to where I know that the app is. I don't have any organisation system going on. I just know where everything is because I always use my phone. So I'm going to be talking about the very first app you come across when it comes to my phone. I put this app here because I probably use it the most out of every single other app that I own. It is Clue. Clue is basically a period app. Clue has actually teamed up with me to make this video, but I'm not doing this video because they told me to. They didn't tell me to say any of this stuff that I'm about to say because I wanted to make this video anyway, but obviously I was going to wait until they were like, sure, we'll work with you. I was ecstatic and over the moon because as you can see by all my previous entries on this Clue app, I have been using it for months and months and months. I always make sure I input all my period dates because it's so freaking helpful. It can be helpful for a number of reasons. It can be helpful if you want to know when your next period is. It can be helpful if you're trying to get pregnant because it tells you when you're most likely to get pregnant on particular days. It can remind you every day to take the pill if you're on the pill. It will warn you about premenstrual cycle symptoms, PMS before you even get them. It's really helpful, especially for those people who are always wondering when their next period is or just get a little bit worried about if they're going to be on their period on holiday, because that's one of the main reasons why those dogs are freaking annoying me. I don't go on holiday a lot, but I go away a lot on different events and stuff, so I like to know whether I'm going to be, you know, carrying a lot of blood around with me. So I like being kind of pre-warned. So I look on the app and I'm like, oh, I'm going to be on my period that week. Maybe I should book the week before or the week after, and that's how like far on it can predict. And let me tell you, it is always on point, but that's only because I put in a lot of information. Like the more you give it, the more it gives you back. So if you put in your moods, when your period started, how heavy it was, and when it finished, how light it was, and then you also put in things like when your sexual activity, all the little bits and pieces you put in, more it will come out with. I just really recommend it. I have like sisters who are always like, oh, I don't know when I'm going to be on my period, and it stresses them out, and I'm like, why don't you just use this freaking app? Okay, now there's a plane. It's just really recommended, and it's free, and it's available for the Apple iPhone watch, which I had no idea about, Android and iOS. Like, this design is so simple. It's just a big circle. Oh god, this is all good now. You can see when I'm going to be on and when I am on. Oh, I've just come off my period, guys. Hello. And then so the circle basically represents your cycle, and then when you come on again, you press the middle button and you basically say, hey, I'm on. It programs it all into the data, and it's specific to you. Give it a try. If you don't like it, let me know, because it might not be for everyone, but I've been using it probably for about a year and a bit now. Next up, we've obviously got my iMessage. I mean, everyone has this. Messages, you just message people. Then we've got my calendar, which I don't actually use because I have another app that I used because I didn't like this iPhone 5 calendar. We've then got my photos, blah blah blah. This is all like the Apple shiz you don't want to hear about, so let's just skip the page. So moving on to the things I actually think you might want to hear about. Podcasts. I listen to podcasts when I'm on the train, when I'm going on a long journey somewhere, when I'm walking somewhere. It's just like music kind of, but it's different because you're like having a conversation with people without having someone there, so it's kind of nice to listen to something to let time fly past, and you maybe learn things as well. You can listen to YouTubers' podcasts. Are really fun to listen to because they do a lot of collaborations with other YouTubers, or maybe if you're just obsessed with a YouTuber, it's kind of nice to be able to listen to them without, you know, having to sit down and watch them on your phone. Still get your YouTuber fix, guys. Twitter, you know what Twitter is. If you don't have the app, you are not living. And then we've got the Facebook app. Once again, you are not living. This is another app which I got called Do! Exclamation point, and I don't actually use this. How ironic. It's called Do, but I don't use it. I basically got this because it's a cool thing that you can like put little checklists on, and then you can make sure you get them done. I use this mainly for uni. The main reason why I actually got this was because I liked the sound effects. Like, listen to the sounds it makes when you write things. That's when you've written something. This is when you delete it. That's my life. Oh, and when you cross it off when you've done it. Anyway, I don't actually use it, so I might delete that. That's just something you might want to use if you know that you're the type of person that gets things done when they're on lists. But I figured out that it was kind of hard to remind myself to get something done when it's hidden on an app, so now I just use a whiteboard in my bedroom. But that's recommended if you want something on your phone. And then obviously Instagram, I use that a lot. Guys, if you want to add me on Twitter and Instagram and my Facebook page, go do that. Links are in the description. We've got my Snapchat, which I barely ever use. I only use my Snapchat to watch other people's snaps because I'm that type of person who just forgets Snapchat even exists after a little while, and so I just stick to my good old Insta. That's why I don't share with you what my Snapchat is, because I don't really use it anyway and I don't really want to waste any of your times. eBay app's really good if you're a big eBay user. I used to use just their website and then it was driving me insane, so I just went ahead and got the app. It will change your life. Just make sure you don't do any 2 AM online shopping like I do. And then the PayPal app's really good if you're a big user of PayPal. I obviously use PayPal to buy things online on my eBay account and stuff like that, so it's good to check when things are going in and out. But it's also really good because I sell things online on my website. If you don't know that, I do. I sell things myself, like my badges, my magnets and stuff like that. That's how I can work out if anyone's buying anything and how I can ship things out. And then when I can ship things out to you, then really embarrassingly, we've got the Just Eat app. As you can tell, I'm like whizzing through all these apps because there's not really a lot to say, because most of you probably have them anyway or know what it's all about. Justi is basically a UK way of finding the nearest takeaway to where you currently are, or just finding out where you can get food, or just helping you decide which to get, and then you kind of select which restaurant or takeaway you want, and then you order your food on there, and it's really quick and simple. If you haven't even heard of that before and you're in the UK, you are missing out. So now I'm going to be moving on to Colette, and this is actually the calendar app that I do use instead of the Apple one. Colette Calendar, I think it was like an Asian app or something, because I had to change the language at one point, and there's actually nothing going on in this month. How embarrassing. I only put things on here which are really like important to remember, and little things just go in my head instead. But it's much more easier to use. You just swish through all the months, and then I color code my dates depending on how important they are, or depending on what they are. Like if they're things that I actually enjoy doing, I put them in pink, and if they're things that I'm like dreading doing, I put them in blue, such as uni deadlines or opticians or the dentist. Next up is the Weebly app. If you have a Weebly account, if you have a Weebly blog, this is really good to use because it's very simple and it's so much better than using the website. I was really happy when they brought out the Weebly app. You can just check that your posts are doing okay. You can check that you haven't made any spelling mistakes, because sometimes when I write out a blog post on my computer, I publish it and then I don't actually realise there's spelling mistakes until I look at it on another device. So that's quite a good thing to do if any of you are bloggers out there. It's very similar to the website, to be honest. It's just obviously a smaller app version. You can also check how your traffic's doing on there, like your stats, and because I have a store on my blog, it's good to check that that's all good and running and there's no errors on my page, and etc, etc. Once again, links in my description to my website. And then next up we have the FameBit app, and I only recently got this app because they only recently brought it out. I was really wanting them to bring out the FameBit app because I've been using their website on my Safari on my phone, and it's so shocking. It just crashed, it didn't do what I wanted to, things were jumping everywhere, and I was like, oh, when are they going to bring out an app? And then the next minute they're like, hey, we brought out an app, and I was like, hallelujah. If you don't know what FameBit is something you can use if you are a YouTuber or a blogger and you want to get sponsorships. So you just click on sponsorships and there's a whole list of people that want to work with you basically, or just work with YouTubers, and then you can select one of them and then submit a proposal, write out your proposal, and then wait for a few days to see if they accept. That's it in simple terms, to be honest. Next up we got NatWest. NatWest is basically my bank, and they do online banking, so it's really helpful to see that you've got good things coming in and out your bank, nothing suspicious going on. It's always good to check things going in and out your bank. Top tip there. I'm not really going to go into that because it's private, but you put in your passcode and Bob's your uncle, you can just see all the stuff that you've bought and then silently cry to yourself about how much you've spent. I got email. Next up is Timehop. Timehop's a really cool app if you're the type of person that likes nostalgia and likes looking at old things. You can basically click on it and it tells you everything that happened a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years. Mine goes up to 6 years, and you can connect it to your Twitter account, your Facebook account. It connects just to your photos and old phones and stuff. It just shows you things that you completely forgot. So it would say, 3 years ago you made this status, and I said something really stupid and cringy probably, like, according to some boys down my road, I look fucking rad. Well, that was nice to know, but no, seriously, sometimes the pictures are really nice to look at and it makes you think, oh, I've come a long way, or oh my god, I haven't. O2 Priority is an app I have, don't use it that much. It's basically rewards for you if you're an O2 user. Check it out if you don't know it exists though. You can be missing out on things which are just free going on in your town because you didn't realise you had O2 Priorities. 8-Ball Pool is another app that I used to use religiously. Don't use it as much anymore, but it's still a cool app. People are on the bandwagon of 8-Ball Pool nowadays. It used to be not a very used thing and I used to only use it, but now it's a pretty cool game. It's basically 8-Ball Pool. You all know the game pool on your phone. Really addicting. You can play with people all around the world. The next two apps are actually Rightmove and Zoopla. Rightmove and Zoopla are house hunting apps. So if you're looking for a home somewhere, you can just browse on there. I'm not exactly looking for somewhere to move right now, but it's quite good to look at them just to get ready for the future. So to get used to prices, areas, and just have a browse to kind of get to know what you might like when you do move. They're really good apps. Moldiv is something I use if I have two photos that I want to put into one for Instagram. So you have all these different selections and you select which one you want and then you put the photos in there, and Bob is your uncle. You can adjust the frames and change the background and all things like that. An app that is similar to that is my other one down here called Layout, and that's basically the exact same thing, but you can do mirrored images on this and there's not much difference. If you need any Instagram editor apps, those are two recommendations from me alongside the Whiteboard that I spoke about earlier. A few games that I'm just going to talk about is Accumulator, Tiny Tower, Skyburger, Azario, and Cooking Fever. These games are very different from one another. I don't really know why. Whoa, what's going on there? The sun has got his hat on, he's coming out to play. Accumulator is basically, oh, that's really annoying, isn't it? I don't know why that's happening. Oh dear, it's because the lens, oh no. Oh well, you're gonna have to live with that life. Accumulator is basically a genie app and it guesses what you're thinking. If you're one of those people who like weird things like that, then this is for you. I love things like that. I used to have this 20 question ball thing. I don't know if any of you have had that toy before, and you submit your answers and it guesses at the end. And this is really fun to play with family members or just at like parties or just get-togethers and stuff. It's really, really cool. It even guesses me if you think of me. People have tweeted that to me a lot of times. I've screenshotted him guessing NinkComPoop. It's so much fun. And then Tiny Tower is basically a tower that you look after with lots of cute 8-bit characters, and you have to like open up stores and stock them, and you've got to give them a home, make sure they get their dream job, and then you climb up in money. It's one of those things you can go back to every hour. You don't have to sit and play it religiously. You can just check it every now and again. I'm so sad of things like that. I like those types of games. I don't like race games. I'm like, ooh, I'd rather sit here and look after 8-bit characters. Skyburger is the weirdest game in the world. I don't even know why I had this, to be honest. You basically catch the things it asks you to catch that ball from the sky, and it's the same company that made Tiny Tower that made Skyburger, which is probably why I downloaded it. Azario is a game that you go around as a ball. You've probably seen a lot of gamers play this game, and you are allowed to get balls that are smaller than you, but the bigger balls can get you, but they don't go as fast as you. So the bigger you get, the slower you get. Quite addicting. It sounds weird. Try it. You might just enjoy it. Cooking Fever is a really weird game. It kind of reminds me of Diner Dash. I used to love Diner Dash as a kid. If any of you used to play that, hands in the air like you just don't care. You basically go through all these different restaurants. You start off cooking burgers, and then you go into a bakery, and then you go into a Chinese place, and you just basically cook what the people ask for, and that's very addicting too, because the more you play it, the more you can do. I've unlocked a Chinese place, and that makes me very excited because I love Chinese, and now I can cook it to fake people. Such fun. My last one that I want to talk about is the Studio app. This is basically an app which is essential for YouTubers. If you want to get on the go and look at your if you're on the go and you want to look at your stats and how your YouTube channel's doing, it's very accurate with that. So it can tell you exactly what you want to know and when you want to know it at the ease of a click, and very, very simple. You've obviously got to log into your channel, and then it will automatically do all your statistics sticks for you in a nutshell. Sorry, that light is probably so annoying. Thank you very much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this and you would like to see me do something very similar in the future, then please give this video a thumbs up and comment me in the section what you would like me to do. Maybe talk about a few more apps that I've enjoyed in the past, or just go into more detail about an app. I don't know. And I will probably be seeing you guys very, very soon, probably tomorrow. I hope you're enjoying your day, your life, your year. I hope you're feeling good and happy and healthy, choosing happiness, and happiness will choose you. I'm really sorry that is just there and irritating you in the eyeballs. Bye, guys.
They're the stars and heartthrobs you probably haven't heard of, whose video diaries have turned them into internet sensations and making plenty of money from advertising. And for huge numbers of teenagers, this is a breed of celebrity created on the video sharing website YouTube that's fast replacing the stars of the mainstream media.